everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I am Emily, and today's video is going to be building and showcasing my dream home library. Now, this video is a little bit different than what I have done before. I'm primarily a Disney YouTuber, but I am kind of sticking my feet in a little bit to the Booktube bookish community here on YouTube. As you can tell by the background, I have lots of books, and I love reading. I'm actually in school getting my master's degree to be a librarian, school librarian specifically. But enough about me. Let's go ahead and get right on into the video. So this is what they look like right now. I had to get two shelves in here before I started filming, so I actually knew what I was doing. But I have the two bigger bookshelves on the outsides and the two smaller bookshelves in the middle. I will put in a photo of what they looked like at my old apartment because it was kind of in a corner and it was really cool. Okay, y'all, the bookshelves are all put together. They are looking great, if I do say so myself. They are looking pretty dusty though, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean them. It has gotten really thunderstormy outside, so I may, after I wipe them down, just do this tomorrow, or maybe I'll finish wiping and organizing my books tomorrow. But yes, we got it done and I'm feeling very accomplished right now. Hey guys, so it is now Saturday. It's been a busy couple of days, so I'm just now getting to wipe down my bookshelves and organize my books. I don't really have a plan as for how I want to organize my shelves, but I will talk about that more in a minute. Let's go ahead and clean the shelves. have been wiped off. Now it is time to organize the books. Like I said earlier, I don't have 100% rhyme or reason how I'm gonna do it, how to organize my books. I definitely am doing them by fiction, nonfiction, fiction and nonfiction. So, and then I'm trying to do them by genre. This is what they currently look like on my floor. They are in stacks. The stacks are mostly accurate, but there are a couple here or there that do not fit with those others in the stacks. But I'm gonna try and also, because I have a lot of romance, do them by like sports romances, contemporary, standalones, things like that. So let's go ahead and get right on into the shelving process. So what I am going to start off with doing is I'm starting on the top shelf up here. You guys can't really see it right now because I'm trying to set y'all in the bookshelves so I don't have to change the angle 5 billion times while I'm filming this video. But I am going to start with my favorite author of all time. Her name is Chloe Leese, and y'all, this is my favorite book of hers. Okay, I lied. This is not my favorite book of hers. They're all great. But this was the book that actually got me back into reading as a young adult. So yes, I am going to go ahead and start on my top shelf with all of her books, her 2 series, the Wilmot Sisters and the Bergman Brothers series. Also want to point out that I do have multiple sets of some of the Chloe books. That's just what I call them, of Chloe's books. Especially the Bergman Brothers series. I have the indie covers, and then I have the traditional publishing covers as well. I also have a cover of Ryder and Willa's book that's in a separate one that I got when I went to Steamy LitCon, and yes. So let's go ahead and get right on into it. So I'm gonna give y'all an overview of this top shelf. That is the Wilmot Sisters trilogy, Bergman Brothers, and the indie copies. And then I get into some of my favorite indie authors. I have the Beyond the Bright Light series by Settlemyre. Love you, Jenny. Jenny Jensen is my favorite male character from a book. He's lovely. But then Josh from the Start is also great, by Katie Duggan. She has a 3rd book coming out in a couple of weeks in the Quibbling series. So I am going to save this room for that. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and time lapse you guys now so you can see me setting up the rest of my bookshelf. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all about 3 seconds to figure out what's wrong with my bookshelf. 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is all romance. This is my romantasy and fantasy. This is my other romance. I'm gonna have to fix it now. Okay guys, it is a couple of days later and I am finally done with my bookshelves and my dream home library. So I figured let's go ahead and do a little bookshelf tour for you guys. Now before we actually get into the bookshelf tour, I want to show you guys something really cute that I have on my wall next to my bookshelves that I found actually on Temu. It's so cute though, and I figured I couldn't go without it in my home library, so let me turn the camera around and show you guys. Look how cute that is, y'all. My camera is kind of hyper focusing right now, but look how cute that is. It's just a little neon light up sign. It plugs into the wall. It just has a little switch and it says cool kids read books. I just think that's precious and I love that. So I'm not sure if I told you guys earlier in the video, but I do have 4 Billy bookcases. They are in 2 different sizes. So I'll insert some kind of flyover footage here. I have 2 big, longer bookshelves on the sides and 2 in the middle that are smaller. I really like it like this, instead of having like a corner bookshelf situation, because then I wouldn't have enough room for all my books. But let's go ahead and get into the actual bookshelf tour. So I'm going ahead and starting up here with my top shelf. I have some of my all-time favorite books on this shelf. I have the Wilmot Sisters series by Chloe Leese. I have the Bergman Brothers series, which is my favorite book series of all time up there. And then I have the indie covers of the Bergman Brothers series. Then I have the Off Script series by Settle Meyer, another one of my favorite series. I think I'm gonna say that about every book, but they're really fantastic if you like them, especially with plus size rep in them. You should go give them a look. And then I have the Quibbling series by Katie Duggan. The 3rd book is coming out here at the end of the month, so I'm so excited to add that to my collection. Then I have some Nellie Wilson books. Steal My Heart, I have not read it yet, but I am most excited to. It's on my 12 in 2025 list of books I want to read. And then I have Lauren Asher, Fine Print, Terms and Conditions, and Final Offer, the Dreamland series. Okay, so now we're here at my 2nd shelf. To start here, we have the Bridgerton series. I know they're not all the same covers. Yes, it does bother me, but I just got them from a local buy-sell trade bookstore because I hadn't read them all yet, and I wanted to make sure I liked them before I got all of them in a big, nice, pretty set cover. But then next to it, I have the When in Rome series, or duology. I think, no, this is series because Beg, Borrow, or Steal just came out a couple months ago by Sarah Adams. When in Charleston, The Match by Sarah Adams, and then more Sarah Adams books, the first 2 in the When in Nashville series. Truth or Beard by Penny Reed, Given Our History by Kristen J. Miller. The first book in Anna Huang's King of Wrath, well, Kings of Sin series. This is King of Wrath. I also had Twisted Love next to it, but I recently took it out because I started reading it. So, then I have Morbidly Yours by Ivy Fairbanks. I've heard lots of good things about this. Then I have Tourist Attraction by Sarah Morgenthaler. Forever Never by Lucy Score, a couple more Lucy Score books. And then I have Bear With Me, The Roommate Pact, Jana Goes Wild, Lucy on the Wild Side, and the ever-loved Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. Okay, so we were over here on this shelf, but now we're gonna go up here to the top shelf in the middle section because it has more romance books that I want to showcase. So here at the top of this middle shelf, kind of middle shelf that I mentioned, we have the Afterlight exclusive set of the Bergman Brothers with the beautiful sprayed edges in the A-frame kind of scene. I love it so much. I just had to get this 3rd set of the books. Don't come for me, y'all. Then on the second shelf down, I had to put in a pretty way my Windy City series by Liz Tomford. I'm just not gonna get into this big whole rant about Play Along and Mile High. Mile High is book number 1 of the Windy Cities, and Play Along obviously is the purple one, book number 4 of the series. My top 2, I think Play Along is my favorite over Mile High. Nobody tells Anders. Anyway, I could go on a whole big talk about the Windy City series and how much I love it so much. But I'm not going to, but I just thought those were very pretty lined up that way. So if you don't know, the Windy City series is a sports romance series set in Chicago. Obviously, that's why it's called the Windy City series. One of my favorite series of all time. I think it's right there, actually, under the Bergman brothers, in my opinion. Okay, moving on. So right here under the Windy City series, then I have the rest of my sports romances. I have The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. I know that's in a series, or at least a duology, but I only have the first one, so I just decided to put it in this shelf. The Prospects by Katie Hoffman. The Striker by Anna Huang. Some more Tessa Bailey. Deepened by Ali Hazelwood. And then I have a really cool book I'm excited to read. Let's see if I can pull it out here. So this next book I actually bought when it was the Olympics last summer, but it looks so good and I couldn't pass it up. It's called Let the Games Begin, and it just looked really cool. It's like Athens 2024. It says set against a sizzling hot Greek summer filled with sunshine and souvlaki. Y'all, English is not my jam today. The author's Let the Games Begin is a page-turning rom-com debut about 2 strangers at the top of their game. It looks so cool. I'm gonna have to read this, especially before the next Olympics. It just looks so cool. And we love the people of color representation in our books, y'all. Next, I'm not sure if y'all can really see it all that well, but it's All in How You Fall. And then I have the Jacksonville Ray series, minus Pucking Around, because that got lost in translation somehow and got left in my old apartment. But I do have it. It's just not on my bookshelf right now. Then I have the rest of the series that's come out so far: Pucking Wild, Pucking Sweet. And then I have Icebreaker and then Wildfire, both by Hannah Grace. Then this next shelf starts off with my LGBTQ romance books. I have How You Get the Girl by Anita Kelly, Love and Other Disasters, also by Anita Kelly, Red, White, and Royal Blue, Fly With Me. And then I get into like my performance books. So I am a theater kid through and through. And so I have The Stage Kiss by Amelia Jones, For the Love of the Bard by Jessica Martin, I Like You Like That by Kayla Gross. Yeah, theater kids unite. That's all I'm going to say about that. And then I get into, I have some of my retellings. So I have Sea Witch by Sarah Henning, which is an Ursula retelling by the book Dating Dr. Dill. Incense and Sensibility, Hooked by Emily McIntyre, which is like a whole, like some of our favorite Disney childhood fairy tale retellings. So that one is Hooked, is about Peter Pan and that kind of storyline. And then I have Dorothy Must Die. So then we get back to the top. I have the Empyrean series of everything that's come out: Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, Onyx Storm. I have the Powerless trilogy by Lauren Roberts. I recently read that within the past like 2 months and it wrecked me. Like whenever Fearless came out, I was in a chokehold. I was in a book slump. I could not get anything through. I couldn't get through anything because it just had such a chokehold on me. So those are, again, as you have noticed with all of my top shelf books, some of my favorites. Then we go down and we have my paranormal romance kind of books I have. Of course, we have to include the Twilight series, because that is what actually got me into reading actually romance. Well, this is still YA romance. to an extent. But in my freshman year of high school, so Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, Breaking Dawn, and then I just have Midnight Sun at the end just because I don't feel like that should go next to Twilight. Anyway, and then I have Bride by Ali Hazelwood, and then I have A Werewolf's Guide to Seducing a Vampire by Sarah Hawley. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. Please forgive me if it's not. So, and then we're gonna move on to the next shelf. This is where I have my fantasy and my romantasy books. I have The Never List by Jade Presley, The Rose Bargain, Phantasma, For a Muse of Fire, A Hidden Fire, A Court of Thorns and Roses, The Dagger and the Flame, Silver Elite. Comment down below and tell me how y'all feel about this book. I haven't read it yet, but I want to, but also I've heard it's basically like, feels like AI writing, and we don't support that. But when I got it from Book of the Month, let me show y'all this. It has the sprayed edges, so I kind of like had to. Then I have Heartless Hunter, and then I have The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst, and this one also has the sprayed edges. It just makes me really happy. So there is some of my fantasy and romantasy. I'm just getting into that, dipping my toe in. So if you have any good romantasy book recommendations, please drop them in the comments below. Then the next shelf down, we have, starting with a book that I literally just found out today was the second book in a series. It is the Love's Academic series, I think. The first book is The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love. And then the second one, obviously, is the one I have. It's The Geographer's Map to Romance. Then we have one of my favorite series of all time that I read around the time that I read Twilight, the Delirium series by Lauren Oliver. That series still has me in a chokehold after all these years. But now we're getting into more of my like YA books. This is obviously YA dystopian, is the Delirium series. I have Divine Rivals, The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, The Wishing Games, The Peacekeeper. And then, y'all, tell me if you have read this duology, because it is just all up my alley. But I haven't read it yet. But I know I'm going to love it because I love historical fiction. You will see some of that later in the video. But I have The Anatomy duology by Dana Schwartz. And then I have some more YA books that I really wanted to read. Well, I still want to read. That I will get to eventually. And then on this bottom shelf, I have The Hate You Give, Out of Character, If He Had Been With Me, 1,000 Boy Kisses, and Looking for Alaska. Y'all, I was about to say that we are done with the romance. Luckily for you and luckily for me, we are not done with the romance series. Not series, the romance books yet. I do have another couple of books. Let me show them to you. So we are back at the main shelf. I put these books here because I didn't really have anywhere else that they would fit. I have a couple of books that I have not read yet. Priest by Sierra Simone. Do not come for me in the comments, y'all. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Butcher and Blackbird. And then I'm getting into my holiday romances. These are just the last couple of ones I have. A Winter in New York, Kiss Her Once for Me, A Merry Little Meet Cute, A Holly Jolly Ever After, Mistletoe Motive, You Make It Feel Like Christmas, and Kissing Kosher. Okay, now we're done with the romances. Let's get right on into the rest of the genres that I have. So next to my holiday romances, you should be able to see I have a couple of books that I don't really know what to do with them. I have Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, Where the Crawdads Sing, a couple of Colleen Hoover books, The Silent Patient, and I have God of the Woods, which is on my to-do list or to-read list for this spooky season. Then I have a couple of like thriller type books, You Belong Here, The Flight Attendant, mystery thriller, I guess is what I'm calling this, The Dangers of an Ordinary Night, Miracle Creek, and The Removed. Then I get into my, what are they called? Just more general fiction type books. I'll give y'all a quick overview because some of these are just here for not no reason. But then I have some of my nonfiction, like I have Michelle Obama's biography. I need to take these thrift book stickers off. Or autobiography, what are they called? The Color Purple by Alice Walker, and then The Age of Phyllis. Fantastic poetry book. And then at the end of it, I just have some of my favorite plays and plays I want to read. Thornton Wilder's Our Town, Death of a Salesman, The Piano Lesson by August Wilson, and another favorite, Arthur Miller's The Crucible. Okay, so now we have moved on to the historical fiction. So I wasn't sure, I'll showcase y'all, or show all of my historical fiction kind of books. Those are all the ones I have. But I kind of organize these a little weird. I organize them by continent, so don't hate me. I started with UK, which yes, I know that's not a continent. I have Miss Eliza's English Kitchen, Never Cross the Highlander, Daughters of the Northern Shores. And then we get into Europe, The Circus Train, Tattoos of Auschwitz, The Auschwitz Escape. Let's see, and then we get kind of into the Middle East, Babylonia, The Kite Runner, A Thousand Splendid Suns, and then I have Barbados, Washington Black. And then we get into the Americas. Of course, I have the Indigenous Peoples books in front of the ones that go into American history because duh. So I have all of those. And then I have some other ones. The Lions of Fifth Avenue got really kind of sad in my move. And I'm very sad about that. I'll have to go maybe buy another copy. I don't know. Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. The Giver of Stars by Jojo Moyes. Moyes? I think it's Moyes. I'm the Boxcar Librarian. The First Ladies. The Book Thief. I don't know why that's there. Oh, I know why it's there. Because I put it accidentally based on time period. I have Library for the War Wounded, Jane Austen Society. A couple more Kristen Hanna. And then at the end, I have my books about refugees just because I believe they deserve their own section. So yeah. Now, below the historical fiction section, we are going down into my Christian, nonfiction, Christian life section. I have a couple of Francine Rivers books, From Jerusalem to Irian Jaya. The rest of these books, I'll get a little bit closer to them, are more about missionaries because I thought I was called into ministry for a really long time as a career. And then I have just the rest of them. They're not really organized in any specific way, but I thought that globe was really cute that I had from Target. And then I'll just go down some more. They're not really organized in any specific way. I probably should look into that. But yeah, that is all of my Christian life / Christian nonfiction books. I also wanted to show y'all, I didn't go all the way to the bottom in the middle two shelves and that last shelf on the left side because I have some extra room. So I'm gonna keep these just like kind of empty until I need the space for them. I also have some rows, what are they called? Bookends, and then I have a stamp. This is the Library of Emily on it. And then let me show you these over here. So these two are on the bottom shelf of this big, tall shelf here, the wider ones. These are the Ultimate Romance Reading Challenge and the Ultimate Reading Challenge. I got these both from Barnes & Noble around this time, maybe a little later last year that I'm going through. It's like, let me open it up and see if I can try and show you. So it says, complete a goal, open an envelope, and reveal your bookish prize. So it's full of a bunch of envelopes. For example, this one says, read a book with the enemies to lovers trope. It also have, read a summer romance novel outside near a beach, lake, or pool. Read a book by a self-pub author in the romance genre. I do that all the time, so I'm gonna go ahead and open it on camera so I can see. Oh, that's so cute! Let me see. It's like a little bracelet with a heart on it. I love that so much. Maybe it's an anklet. I think it's an anklet. I don't know. I'll get it on my ankle eventually. Not gonna show y'all that today, but I just wanted to show y'all that was the first one I've opened because I have been in the process of reading and then I just forget to open them. But yes, so that is what this one looks like. And then in the Ultimate Reading Challenge, I'm gonna read y'all some of the the prompts in case you are not much of a romance reader. It says, read in a place you've never read before. Read a book by an author whose ethnicity is different than yours. Read a graphic novel. Read a book about a person with a disability. Gift a copy of your favorite book to a friend or family member, special occasion not required. Read a new book that is primarily intended for children. All kinds of really cool stuff in these. I don't remember how much they were. It says on here, obviously it was in packaging and I opened it. It says $29.99. I don't think they were that expensive at Barnes & Noble, but I could be wrong. Okay guys, so that is the end of this video. If you have watched all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot for your support to me and my channel. If you did watch until the very end, comment below the book stack emoji. If you liked this video, feel free to leave me a like, subscribe to my channel for more from me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye! See you Monday!